Okay. Good morning, Robert RAFAEL. You are representing ProDanube International in the function as General Manager, a General Secretary, and also ProDanube Management as General Manager. Thank you for accepting our interview. Your voice is very important for us. My name, you know already, is Karin Vogelsam. I'm the Project Manager of Enshafen. And if you agree, we can start with our 3 questions now.
Yes, very good morning. Thank you for thinking of us in this interview series.
Thank you. The first question, do you think there are any potential negative impacts of energy transition in ports?
Well, I'm quite convinced that this energy transition is, or should at least have positive effects on everyone, including ports. I'm also convinced that ports can be pathfinders and first movers in this, because in most of the ports, there are spaces, there are facilities, there are quite good circumstances to facilitate that. If I need to think of something negative, is that, but that's also not only related to ports, is this hesitance what we are facing both as companies and both as private people, that currently there is no, or at least in our understanding, there is no clear way, or there are no clear options how to achieve the carbon neutrality exactly, and how to move forward. And if I need to highlight one negative impact, is then this we don't exactly know the way, so we don't know what to prepare for, whether to prepare for hydrogen production and storage in ports. We know that there are mandatory requirements for onshore power supply. That's one thing, but we also know that it does not fulfill, or it does not answer all the questions.
Okay.
So hesitance in one word, if I need to say something negative.
Thank you. The next question is, in inland navigation, there is a kind of, we call it mobile area and static area. The mobile area, we understand when vessels are moving on the Danube, and the static area, we think about docking in the port. What possibilities do you see to reduce CO2 emissions, or we can have an energy transition in the mobile or static area?
Well, then let's start with the mobile. I think high on the agenda is the alternative fuels with less CO2 emissions and air pollutant emissions. This is what we just discussed at the port. So there it's quite difficult to say what type or what types are there, but we might break down the topic to smaller groups. So we might need to start with vessel types, or per vessel types, which can introduce alternative solutions, like for ferries, electricity can be an answer. On lakes, electricity can be an answer. In port pushers, there can be some kickstarters who can do something in the mobile area, so during moving. Also, when it comes to the navigation, like as slow steaming in the maritime, or in other commodities, maybe not full speed ahead is the answer in the future. So maybe we can reduce speed. Maybe we can start reducing speed when arriving to ports, or when arriving to locks. That would also avoid congestion, and so on and so on. In the static part, we talked about onshore power supply. That's one of the options. That's one of the requirements when we take it on the European level. But we also know that it has challenges. So if in ports we start introducing onshore power in ports downtown cities, we start introducing onshore power supply, then it might have negative impacts on the inhabitants in the vicinity. So that also needs to be done carefully. And well, this is what I see for the two modes, or for the two parts of the question.
Okay, thank you. And do you see any success story already in your field of expertise?
Well, quite some when we take on the European level, I think we can check those first hydrogen-fueled vessel, the introduction of the electricity and this zero emission barges in the Netherlands. In our Danube region, we see rather some initiatives from ports. So we know that in quite several ports, such as in Vienna, for example, here in the vicinity, there are photovoltaic panels installed on the rooftop of buildings. We also see some photovoltaic movements in the port of Constanza, also in Serbian ports. So these steps are being made. You might remember in the LNG master plan project, there was an LNG infrastructure installed in the port of Russe. Unfortunately, it's not used yet to its maximum extent. There are some movements in the Danube region, small movements in the Danube region in the ports. Vessels are not that frequently subject for changes for the time being, unfortunately.
Okay, thank you very much for taking your time and giving us your expertise. And yeah, we'll see what is going on further in the Danube region. Thank you very much, Robert.
Thank you and good luck with the project.
Thank you.